Never fails. Every time he's got to have some sort of boom, 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 boom in the background. Welcome back to another Buddy's Booze Banters, Unfiltered Conversations. I am Rick.
I'm Michael.
Hey, everybody. My name is Alex.
We also have another guest in here, Kara. She stepped away for a few minutes, but she'll be popping in and out. So we've had some interesting things to talk about today. First and foremost, how was Las Vegas?
Oh, man, Vegas was great. I spent 7 full days, and I thought I was going to go back to work immediately the next day. I slept so hard, I had drool from the side of my face. I had to change the sheets and pillows.
So I'm assuming, was it Tuesday night you flew back?
Okay,
yeah, it was.
But wait, we need to tell. It's like everybody, because it's like you get a new show or whatever. I mean, Alex went to Vegas.
For his 40th.
But he did not go to the Super Bowl.
Well,
but he was there for it.
Yeah,
but he wasn't there at the game.
He was across the street from it.
Yeah, it was across the street.
But I'm just
That's what we call the poor
giving
man's.
the people,
That's the poor man's party.
People the scenario or whatever that he was there.
Well, I mean, if they haven't listened to the last couple of podcasts, you're right.
I'm just
you're
saying
absolutely right.
we're getting new people every time or whatever. We're getting that count up higher and higher and higher. So for the new people that just started on this one,
Yeah.
Alex went to Vegas
For his 40th birthday.
For his 40th, had a fun doing Super Bowl stuff. Did not go to the Super Bowl game, but got to do all the stuff. And
Right.
so I just want to give our audience some perspective.
I think it was neat though about it. I mean, the whole city was themed out from the moment I got off the airplane.
It's
to the
Super
moment I
Bowl.
left. Yeah.
Every Super Bowl city, it is going to be all about the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, being the first time it was actually in that city as well. Back to what I was going to. So you flew back in on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, it technically be Wednesday morning at 3
Yeah.
a.m. is when I finally hit the pillow.
Was it a butt FaceTiming that you did for me? Because you actually,
Bucket?
Yeah, it was probably around, like maybe around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I got a FaceTime.
Did you answer?
I did not. Well, it was in the other room.
Oh, I know where I was. I was at the airport.
I kind of figured you were at the airport.
Yeah, at the airport bar. Someone bought the jacket, which was the goal. Someone bought the jacket at the airport.
That you got?
Yeah, with the one with all the different Super Bowls on it.
I hope you got a pretty good price
Yeah,
for it.
I did. I got full value for it.
Yeah, well,
You need to
make
get
a profit?
more than that.
No, I didn't make a profit. I was just trying to get my money back.
Well, I mean, at least it's a wash. It's a wash.
I can't wear that here. It's a Vegas jacket.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it has all the Super Bowls on it. So, I mean, I think that one of the things that I want to hear about is you went to Kelly Clarkson's concert, the Intimate residency.
That I did. I didn't realize it was her last show until the day of.
What do you mean? It was the last show?
It's the last show until there's going to be more shows, I'm assuming. But for this stint, this residency, that was her last show.
Wow, good to know.
Yeah.
I thought she had a talk show.
Well, she does. She's based out of New York City now.
Well, and I think that's the thing. She's got too much going on, man. She's got kids, a talk show,
Yeah.
ex-husband who doesn't like her.
And then supposedly
No, I think that she
weight.
doesn't like him. Oh yeah, she's looking awesome right now. She is.
No, she's looking great.
And she looks
almost
happy
cried, though.
too. She looks happy as well.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was really, intimate. She came out in the crowd, took selfies with a bunch of people. She even took a shot with somebody.
I think Adele really has changed the whole perceptions on how you do those intimate concerts because that's exactly what Adele does.
Yeah.
And she does a residency.
I was like, I'm just looking at it, but it's like Vegas has always been something like that.
Well, no, smaller venues where they actually walk into the audience, they physically interact with all the guests and talk to them.
I mean, I've been going to Vegas for a long, long time, and that's still Vegas for anybody. So,
Well, we're not talking about Wayne Newton times.
well, no, I wasn't a big Wayne Newton fan.
Yeah, but it was around your time.
He's older than me, so no, it's.
Hey, did you actually see there was a, I forget where it was. It was on Twitter, I think it was, or I'm sorry, X. They were watching all the celebrities walking in. Wayne Newton was walking in. I mean, I can't believe he's still walking.
Like I was about to say, could he still walk?
He could still walk.
Because what was it? It was like 10 years ago. He did Dancing with the Stars, and he looked like a zombie at that time where he could barely walk.
Well, I think the last probably 20 years he's looked like a zombie. But yeah, he was hoofing it right in there with it.
He's had so many facelifts. It's just like, oh my God.
It was definitely interesting to watch that stream of celebrities going in,
Well, speaking of celebrities, I actually did get to see celebrities. So I saw
All
Guy
right, so
Fieri.
who was it?
I saw Guy Fieri walk right by me, got a video of it and everything. And at the same party,
That's the guy with the spiky ball.
Yep, the spiky.
The racist? Okay.
he makes great nachos. That's what I know.
No, he breaks great food, period.
And Gordon Ramsay was at the same party.
More
well,
food.
Well, they
Took a
sat
picture
next
of
to
him,
each
too.
other at the Super Bowl. That's why.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, him and Carrot Top also. In fact, I've got a really funny picture I found on social of Gordon Ramsay giving Carrot Top a carrot. It was almost like eating your own kind.
I don't know if I like. I mean, it doesn't make sense. To me,
All
but
right.
anyhow.
So any big celebrities so far? Any of those have just
not just
does
not on
nothing for me?
TV.
No, that was it. I mean, but you couldn't be everywhere. Like I found
Well,
out.
I'm not saying you could be everywhere, but they're going to be celebrities
I know, but
everywhere you
we
run.
just didn't do enough research. I found out that Blake Shelton played at his bar the night before the Super Bowl. And so, I mean,
Yeah,
I was going to go anyway. And
I'm
I
not a big.
waited.
I'm not like super big fan of Blake, but I am definitely a super big fan of his wife, Gwen Stefani. I mean, I've followed
Well, I was
her.
about to say which wife because he's like,
Well, you know, the Miranda one. You know, she was a little bit here and there. It was Gwen Stefani. I mean, I've followed her ever since she was in the band. So, you know, she's from Anaheim, California, and it's just she's an incredible thing. I mean, I think that she's got some work done too. Mind you.
all right. So Alex, out of all the things in Vegas, you're on the spot now. What was your number one all time that you? It's like, okay, anybody ask you what I did, or whatever. What's your first thing you're going to say?
The Seance show.
The
Oh,
seance.
whoa. Talk to me about this seance. So,
It was amazing. So you walk into this warehouse. It's in the Area 15 complex. You walk into this warehouse, and there's this giant guy on stilts, and it's almost like a circus theme. So it's literally like that movie that you imagine where you're like, holy smokes, I'm in a movie, because it's like fog and it's dark, and there's this guy in stilts, and you're just like, I'm in this scary freak clown movie, right? So it's all themed out. And in each little room, there's little sections where they have little private shows. It's like 2 acts. It's like a trapeze thing, contortionist. So like they're just getting you ramped up for this seance show. And so they're like, who has seance tickets? And I'm like, I do. So they send you into this other room, and it's this large table. It's huge.
Right.
And in the middle is where the stage essentially is. But you're sitting at the table. I mean, literally, your elbows are at the table. It probably only seats 16 or 18 people. And you literally look up, and they're so close that at one point their leg comes down just and almost brushes against the side of your face. And it's a whole story. I mean, there
how
are
long's
acts.
the story? How long's the story?
The story's like a half hour, 40 minutes or something. I mean, like it lasts forever. And then an apex is at the very top, and you're like, holy smokes, what did I just witness? And then finally the lights all turn back on, and you're like, oh my gosh. And that was kind of a neat thing too. So they told everybody literally to turn their phones off. So there was no distractions.
Right.
It was just an intimate room, this seance experience, everything right there. I mean, it was phenomenal. I would recommend it to anybody.
That's something I'll probably take Jennifer to at some point. She loves that stuff.
Well, yeah, I could say, but
Does she like rum?
You're just, but I'm still,
What's
I'm
that?
still,
It's in a rum distillery, so that's
I'm still in amaze.
it's
That
less
is
alcohol,
your
so you're
number
fine.
one.
yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody has a different thing.
There is a
Well, I
different
know.
thing.
I'm just asking.
I mean,
it's like it's
You don't
just-
think that's pretty cool?
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't pretty cool, but I'm just saying number one, you're in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but-
all the stuff's going on.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
what
talking
other,
about a seance.
Yes, because what other place in Vegas in that moment where you can just you can shut everything off? And there's it's just
There's no
you-
noises from the gambling
Right.
and the machines and the people
It's
and the
just
cars.
you and the artist. And if you let your mind,
Michael, you haven't been
escape.
in one of those seances, have you?
The what?
One of those seances experiences. You haven't been in one of those.
Probably not.
Yeah.
but he does have a lazy Susan in the kitchen. And
Yeah.
we could put you on that.
But I'm just.
I think
but
you
I'm
ju-
just saying. It's just like for the normal person. I guess if I did it, I go, oh wow. But then I would have described it so much differently than that.
Well,
But it's
yeah,
like
yours
it's
would have
still-
taken over 2 hours to describe.
Well, then at least you would have known I had a great time.
all you had to say was, "I had a great time."
You could have sit down. Oh, slam them. Thank you, ma'am. We're done. Let's go to the next thing. Is that what you're talking about?
No. I mean, again, I've been through one or two, and they're great experiences.
Where are the other ones that you've been to?
There was actually a smaller one here during Halloween.
Okay, gotcha.
And there was a mansion off of Ross that.
When you say
Jennifer-
here, or
Not
here?
here in Dallas.
Here,
Okay.
here.
In Dallas.
In Dallas.
Just
and-
trying to clarify.
And you know,
'cause-
Jennifer, I don't think you've met her yet. You know, she's one of my best friends.
I think I have.
Years.
Doesn't she have like cool hair going on?
Well, it changes depending
yeah.
on the wig.
No, I think I know her. I think I met her at Teddy
I
Bear.
think she had
Teddy Bear.
Yes, you did.
Teddy
yes,
Bear
you did.
last year.
Well, she's really into that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
so,
she is.
Halloween of last year, this last Halloween, we went to a mansion off of Ross, and they pretty much, and it was a traveling show that they did across the country. So it was the seance obviously didn't last as long as when you're talking about in Vegas, you know, but we didn't have to pay because it was just like one ticket in the entire mansion. But yeah, so and I think there's one several years ago that she took me to because I mean, over the 28 years, she's dragged me to a couple of different things that kind of like scares the shit out of me.
Okay, so Alex, Super Bowl wise, what did you see? Did you see any athletes? Did you go to any of the experience there?
No, I was gonna go to the experience, but I ran out. I didn't plan it. Yeah, I totally screwed up. I was gonna go.
Oh, you didn't run out of money?
So, my guy, most of it was prepaid. Otherwise, I would have ran out of money.
Yeah.
But your question about celebrities or whatever. No, I mean, I was in the cheap seats, man. I mean, the hotel I watched the party was called the Orleans, which has been there forever.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Never
I've
heard of it.
Yeah.
Walked in there and I'm like, this is my jam. It's $5 blackjack, $5 craps, you know, and it's like, let's go.
And that's unheard of nowadays.
Yeah, let's go.
Especially during a weekend like that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean like I did, man, I stayed at the Orleans one night, you know, whatever, but then I also got to stay at the Cosmopolitan. I've always wanted to stay at the Cosmopolitan.
I've heard good things about that one actually.
I've got I had a terrace suite that overlooked the fountains, one of the outdoor balcony things that was 38 stories high. Man,
Cool.
It was really cool. And that was a bucket list thing. I've always wanted to do that. But Monday night the rates were so low because everyone had already bailed. I got it for like half price. It was amazing.
Well, cool. Well, that kind of brings us what we want to talk about next. And it's
Well, okay, but before you do that, Alex, did your team win or lose?
Oh, my team won.
You were going for KC?
Well,
Yep, I put $200 on it. I doubled my money.
Cool.
who in here wasn't going for KC? Kara raises her hand, just so you know. You know, she was obviously a 49ers fan. Obviously, I was going for Taylor's team. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going for KC because of the quarterback.
oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he played at Texas Tech, which I went to Texas Tech, and it's just like, all right, so that's kind of like a hometown.
You know, some of the sports commentators that were coming out after the game said that he is probably going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks ever in the NFL.
Well, I mean, you consider it. He's what, 28,
oh, he's got several years left. There's no doubt.
and I mean, he's won 3 Super Bowls.
But they say it's his adaptability when the times are hard. It challenges him, and he really steps it up.
I mean, he's a lot like Tom Brady. I mean, I wasn't a big Tom Brady fan or whatever, but Tom Brady has proved where in some instances you can't not like him because he
won.
He won and he pulled it off on some stuff too, whatever. But
He just, I think he got hit in the head too many times.
but you look at it. Kansas City has now won 2 in a row. And coming up, for the next season or whatever, it's going to be Kansas City win 3 in a row,
Right.
because no team has ever won 3 in a row.
No. You know, they think they're vying for that third win. There's no doubt about it. You know, let's kind of like start in the beginning, though. I mean, obviously, I did miss Andre Day's, you know, the National Black Anthem. I missed that, you know, because I was in the kitchen where at the house that I was actually.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, but I did see Post Malone. I mean, first of all, how the hell can you sing with all that metal in your mouth? First of all, and I like his music. Don't get me wrong, you know, but I wasn't really impressed with his rendition of it.
Yeah, that's true.
It really, I mean, there's you know some singers who really have just done. America the Beauty is an incredible song, and I just didn't really enjoy it much. And I know I'm literally going to have a lot of people saying, "What the hell are you talking about?" I wasn't impressed with Reba's.
I thought she did an okay job. I'm not saying
Yeah,
she did a great
okay.
job.
I mean, she hit all the notes. I just don't think the way that she, you know, formatted the national anthem. I mean, well, let's be honest. It wasn't a Whitney Houston.
No,
Well,
and
no,
speaking of
because-
Whitney Houston, sorry, I don't mean to rehash, but the Kelly Clarkson, she hit that note, and I think what you're
No,
describing
Kelly can.
is the nobody hit the note.
Yeah.
When it came to
Well,
the
I think,
national anthem.
yeah,
so.
Reba was being very reserved
Country.
and conservative.
Yeah.
No. Even country singers could have hit it. I mean, there's plenty of times that she could have hit it. I mean, her outfit was fabulous. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just didn't think that she really kind of just. And again, there's a lot in the country will just basically say the opposite. I mean, that's fine. There's everybody's own opinion and things of that sort. But
I thought it was a good job. Was it one of the best? No, but it was a good job. It wasn't something I said, oh no, this sucks or whatever.
Right.
Because you mentioned Whitney, but when Whitney did the national anthem,
we know the time frame. Obviously, it's right after 9/11.
I know, but it was just like, oh my God, that was just unbelievable.
Well, I watched that the other day. And I'm not sure exactly what prompted me to do. And again, it just it makes your hair stand up on your arms and it brings tears to your eyes just simply because of the time. And I remember exactly that time frame, but also, I mean, she just resonated exactly at the time and the emotions that we needed.
Because that version ended up in the top 40. It got maybe up to 30 or something like that.
Definitely so.
The songs or whatever. So it's like, oh my God.
Well, it was an interesting game overall.
It was. My team won. I was happy. Yeah. It didn't look that good the first half. But
it looked horrible the first half. I mean, going into the third quarter, it's like, what the hell? We might have just packed this in already. But they did make a comeback. And it's kind of like what we were talking about Mahomes. I mean, it's like he took charge in the third quarter and said, if you guys aren't going to do it, I am.
Well, because he is one of those where, like I said, you got to put him in the Tom Brady. There are certain quarterbacks, it's just like at the end of the game, you do not want to be against them.
No.
And that he has proven himself to be one of those, just like a Tom Brady has.
What I was impressed with the entire game, first, second quarter, and in third, is any time one of his team members made a mistake, they beat themselves up more than anything. I mean, they were just so disappointed in their performance. I mean, Pacheco, whatever his name was. I mean, he dropped and screwed up so many times, and he just beat himself up constantly. I was impressed. I mean, that talks about the character that the coach has built.
Because part of it is like when you have experience, and it's like Kansas City is basically a dynasty right now.
Yeah, and there's no
because
doubt.
it's like 6 years they've been in the AFC championship game. They've won the Super Bowl 3 of the last 5 years or whatever.
Right.
It's just like being in that big game and having the experience. It does count. I mean, for the people, it's like first time or whatever. It's just like, as long as you don't think about it, you're good. But once you start thinking about it, your head goes.
Yeah. Well, that kind of rolls into what I wanted to talk about, because there's obviously some controversy, especially that happened on the sidelines.
There was a lot of controversy.
But what I will say specifically, the reason that camaraderie, the reason that they're so thick as mud, is because of Coach Reed. I mean, he's definitely cultivated that type of environment, and it kind of goes, to the whole, when Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, they say accosted him, because he wasn't in the game, he had been pulled out of the game, and I guess it took Coach Reed by surprise and kind of like made him kind of almost stumble. And we didn't hear what he said. You could just kind of like, if you're good at reading lips, you can think what he said. But I mean, what I find very interesting is these sofa psychiatrists and psychologists now, who are basically saying, oh, this is he's going to be a woman abuser and this and that, and I don't know how they jumped to that. Because first
Kelsey
of all,
is going to be one.
Well, that's what they're. I mean, it literally, it's all over social media. I mean, it's not just females are talking about it. There's definitely a lot of males talking about it as well. Now, I think that it really kind of rolls into the whole Taylor Swift and Travis kind of controversies and conspiracy of things, because they were always mentioned as like, well, Taylor needs to watch out because obviously he has a temper and things of that sort. And I just think it's very ironic that, that's what they're actually focusing on. Whereas I look at it differently. I look at the fact of the matter is, when Coach came out for the interview after the game, he says, like, yeah, he caught me by surprise. But they both admitted they love each other, and that's how they interact. I mean, it's, first of all, the Super Bowl.
It is.
It's extremely intense. He wants to be on there because they're messing up. He wants to be on the field playing. I mean, I don't...
Because he wants to be on the screen more than his girlfriend.
Whether or not that's true or not is here or there. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, to sit here and have the couch psychiatrist jump to, oh, he's going to be a woman abuser and that is just ridiculous. I mean, now obviously, on his podcast with his brother yesterday, he obviously came out and said he did go too far, but I mean, he obviously said, I have that relationship with the coach that we got it for. And his brother said the same thing. He definitely went too far, but I think that, probably more of those scenes happened on both sides of the field. It just wasn't the camera panned on him. They were just always on him or Taylor.
Well, because that was the thing leading up for the last 2 weeks.
No, I get that. The point being is like, the media and the hype that's been created around them. I'm pretty sure what happened? What is it? When Tom Brady smashed his iPad on the field, during the Super Bowl.
There was a big controversy on that.
Yeah, but he wasn't called an abuser.
Well, no.
I mean, that's my point. It's just, just because he has a relationship with his coach, that his coach found it acceptable, because his coach probably yells him just like that as well. Because
he's an old time coach.
Yeah.
He does it big time.
And they're passionate. They're absolutely passionate. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you know the history of how he ended up coming to KC. Specifically with this coach. Because the coach wasn't going to draft him. He actually called him. He says like, are you going to do the same shit that you did at the university? And he basically had to say, no, coach, I'm not. And he had to prove himself. So I mean, they have a long history of developing their relationship. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that people are out there saying, questioning, he's going to be an abuser of things of that sort. I didn't, first of all, I seen everything about him out there on, social media or, his podcast. Yeah, he's just overly energized. He's just that type of person. I mean, he's almost like a teddy bear, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see that any violence that could come out of that. But but it's a great thing to talk about just simply because of the controversy they have out there.
Well, because they don't like him or they want to do stuff. It's like, I get that, because it's like the whole game and afterwards, the conspiracies and all this other stuff. Everything is just, people just say a lot of stupid shit out there. And the key is with the social media that it is, people are listening to this stuff. It's like, I've looked at all the conspiracy theories that have kind of come out on the game or whatever. It's like, who's going to who? It's like, oh my God, some of the stuff, you just don't even know the rules. But speaking of the rules,
I know where you're going there, because I thought this was absolutely ludicrous.
I mean, it was just like, okay, this is the second Super Bowl game that's ever gone into OT.
Now, I will tell you this. I did Google it as it was happening myself, because I wasn't familiar exactly with the new rule as well.
Well, but, okay, granted, they changed because one reason why it changed was because used to, people didn't score on their first drive or whatever, and it would take it. But now all of a sudden, with the offenses and everything else, everybody kind of scores or whatever. And used to it be a field goal, whoever first team scored, and then it was like a field goal or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, all right, but then it's like, okay, if it's a field goal, then it's going to do it. Well, then you look at it, the other Super Bowl game is New England was getting killed by Atlanta the whole entire game. They score a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, get a 2-point conversion, then they score another touchdown, get another 2-point, and it goes into overtime. And then New England wins the coin toss and then goes and scores the touchdown to win. So it's just like, it's basically not fair. But the rules have, anybody that knows football should have known that. And I hear all the people that are saying San Francisco didn't know that.
Which I think is just absolute bullshit. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you got to the Super Bowl and you don't know the rules.
And it's like, you look at it, it's like, okay, San Francisco got it, did a long drive and went there, and they could have scored a touchdown, but they ended up kicking a field goal. All right, so it's like Kansas City.
That's when they thought it was done, though.
Well, but that was their own.
How do you get to the Super Bowl and not know the rules?
Exactly. Now, again, I mean,
the coach did.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's like, been there for decades. It's
But wait. But the key was it wasn't on it couldn't have been that the players thought it was over on the field goal, because they changed the rules. Because used to, if it was you kicked a field goal, the other team still got another shot.
But it was all about sudden death.
Well, no, it's
because that's how it is, obviously, in the regular season. The playoffs and the Super Bowl are different.
Because the regular season, that's how it was or whatever.
That's how it is, though. I mean,
but actually, in the regular season, it's still not. It's like you can't kick a field goal and it's over. But it's like, but the key is if you got a touchdown, it was over. But then in the playoffs, it's a different thing. Is they basically said if you get a touchdown, the other team gets it, and so it's just like if I won the coin toss, I mean, I would have probably taken it where it's like I get the second shot.
That's the other thing
because
that's out there.
ultimately is like, all right, for Kansas City, okay, San Francisco went and kicked the field goal or whatever. Kansas City ultimately then knew that it's like, okay, they got 4 downs.
Yeah.
And all this stuff is. And there was multiple times where, I think there's 2 times or whatever, there was like 4th down. And San Francisco could have hold him, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was definitely a lot of holes out there. And I think that probably, and maybe I'm wrong here, maybe they were just confused that why isn't this game already over? You know, I mean, I don't know. It just, I just find it very ironic that they have first of all, the attitude and audacity to come out afterwards and say they didn't know the rules. I was like, that really doesn't say a whole hell of a lot for you and your team members.
I know, because it's just like, I'm not a player.
Yeah.
But I knew what the rules were.
Well, I mean, in fairness, not everybody. I didn't know because I Googled it, and trust me,
I know
had
sports.
I do too, but I had to dig down
No, you
deeper.
don't. Not like,
I may not know as well as you, but I do know enough.
You're getting to know more sports because of me.
Oh my God, here we go.
That's a fair statement.
That is a
Oh my
true
God, here we
statement.
Yeah, it's a true statement.
I've always liked sports. I just feel that I've been given opportunities to actually experience it more.
Which then gets you to talk about it and all this other stuff.
Well, something like that.
Did you guys see the shirtless guy?
What? Oh my God. So that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'm going to see what you say, and then I'll if you don't say what I'm going to say,
that
then
was
I'll
a
say it.
definite setup.
Oh, you think that
was.
guy actually didn't go to jail?
No, he went to
No, he
jail.
went to
He spent-
jail.
He spent the night in jail. He spent the night
But he
in jail.
made money.
Well,
He made
he
money.
made $10,000. He made a bet that, and they took the bet.
Oh, that he
Because
wouldn't
That
do
there
it.
would be a
No, no.
streaker, and he was the streaker.
Yeah, there was a bet. I mean, Vegas
There was
had
odds.
it.
There was
whether
odds
there
about
was,
whether
whether
there's
there's
gonna
So
be
you
a
think
streaker.
Vegas was in cahoots?
Well, and so then basically,
No,
this-
it's just like any type of big game like that. Even the football in the UK.
no, I had a bingo
but-
square that Usher wasn't going
But
to take his shirt
basically,
off.
I mean, the
anytime.
guy
Oh,
looked
wow.
at it and it's like, okay, there was a Vegas thing about would there be a streaker
streaker,
or
right.
whatever, and so he put money on it.
$10,000 bet
no,
on it.
No. Well, but he won 20,000.
Yeah, he came up by 10,000.
Yeah, he won 20,000 on the bet, but
Because
he
he
had to
bought a
spend-
$10,000 ticket.
But he won 20,000, but then ultimately I think with his fine and being in jail
He's
was
up.
10,000.
He's up.
So he's
No.
up $10,000.
And one night in jail.
Granted, I mean, he didn't stay the entire game, but he experienced the Super Bowl to some degree and then got $10,000. So, I mean, like your jacket, it was a wash,
Yeah, it was a wash.
you know.
No,
But still,
he gained 10,000.
well, however it panned out,
Because
bottom line
because
is,
I'm saying is he put in 10,000.
I get where you're technically trying to go.
I know.
My point being is like the value more of the fact that he got his 15 minutes of fame is really what it is.
And he's going to get more money off of it because of
Absolutely. Well, he was all over TikTok talking about it. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was absolutely hilarious. Now, not that I would ever, but apparently he didn't get down to like completely nude because obviously
No, because I think he had
they
a
tackled him.
G-string on.
Well, they tackled him hard. They said he said so.
But then I think I saw an interview where he said he was in like kind of like tennis shoes.
Yeah.
He said
Oh,
he
and
should have been.
slipped.
He should have been in
cleats.
Yeah, he should have been in cleats.
Yeah. I mean, there's that. That was all funny. The fact that he was even thought that process. I would never think that. I'm going to place a bet on myself that I can go out there and streak. First of all, I'm not going to streak. I mean, I haven't done that since I was 16.
Thank God.
No, at 16 you wouldn't have said that, but that's something.
Well, that would have been 50 years ago.
No, not quite.
It was like the
Not
last
quite.
lunar
Not quite.
eclipse or something.
Yeah.
55.
No, whatever. So there are two more topics that I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Halftime. What is your thoughts on? I mean, again, I know that I mentioned one of our other podcasts is Usher still relevant? What's your thought?
He. I mean, it's like I'm not a huge big Usher fan, but I thought he did a great job.
I thought it was incredible, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I know there had been rumors that he was going to bring 2 additional artists on, potentially an R&B and also a rap hip hop guy, person. But who he all brought out, I'm just like, you got an entire roster of people coming out.
I thought it
with
was
Alicia
awesome
Keys.
when he took off his shirt.
Well, I mean, again, the funny thing about it is I was at a house party and there was several people there, including females, and they were just loving it. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it. They were absolutely enjoying it.
Now-
I mean, I got to give it to him at his age too. He's still got it. He's still got it.
He
Even
does.
those dance moves. Oh my God. I mean,
Well, because I remember one Super Bowl show. What was it? Maroon 5.
oh, that was a horrible show.
Yeah, it was not going good, and so then Alan took off his shirt and all that stuff, tried to spice it up or whatever.
Yeah, well.
But did I hear that Usher got married in Vegas?
He did. I did one of those drive-through marriage things where his kids were in the back seat of the convertible, and it was a long-time girlfriend. So I thought it was pretty cool that he did that. He did the whole kind of elope Vegas thing. So that's definitely interesting. Even though there was controversy again, even though Alicia is has a significant other, he got married. Oh, the grinding that he was doing up on Alicia is like, what was her man thinking? It's like, it was a show, people.
It is.
It's a show. They're friends. They've been friends for a long time.
But is Usher, I've heard rumors or whatever, is he
I don't know.
bisexual or anything like that?
Well, I think I mentioned this when we talked about whether he's relevant on other podcasts, about all those rumors. I mean, there's just tons and tons of rumors. And you know what? I don't care whether he is or not. I'm
just curious.
Bottom line is he did a great presentation. He really kind of like brought it all back for that generation, and the only one that I was a little bit confused at. I mean, well, first of all, I love her, and she is so badass on that bass guitar. I mean, when she comes out there, it was the Will I Am. I mean, what the hell does he always wear these like bug-eyed goggles? I mean, first of all, I didn't know who the hell he was until he started singing. I was like, who is this bug-eyed person? Yeah, and he is a good artist. I just don't understand it.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan, so I can't add too much to that.
Yeah, well, the other thing I want to talk about though is the commercials. What's your take on the actual $7 million for 30-second commercials?
I have a favorite one.
Which one was that?
Kate McKinnon and the cat, the mayonnaise commercial. He goes,
Oh,
meow.
yes, yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you can talk.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to say this year, it's just like, I can't say there was one that I just really kind of liked.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of get a kick out of the Dunkin' Donuts one with, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and J-Lo. I did think that was kind of funny, just simply because he was definitely making fun of himself. I mean, there's no doubt about it, which is really what he needs to do more of, because he has this kind of like stoic persona that goes out there. And I thought it was kind of funny. There's no doubt about it. But one that I want to specifically talk about, it was... I don't want to talk about this, because if you did not know the background of it, you would actually agree with the theme of it. And that was there, where you have all these individuals washing people's feet. The one that was, what was the name of that one? He Gets Us.
He Gets Us?
He Gets Us. And it was basically talking about Jesus. I mean, obviously the theme.
Okay, so I guess that's washing the feet, that theme then.
Correct. Obviously, Jesus is known to have washed the feet of individuals who are not of wealth and things of that
I
sort.
thought it was other people washing his feet.
No, he washed theirs.
Oh, okay.
He washed theirs.
All right.
So obviously I have a little bit more of a religion that you do, and then you have sports than me. Okay, got it.
Okay.
The point being is, if you actually watched it, it was a feel-good type thing after. But what's the controversy behind it is the fact of the matter is a $1 billion campaign for the alt-right conservatives to change the actual opinions and impressions of Christians not being good people, not having hate. And every single one of the organizations and it's a nonprofit, that donates to them is associated to a hate group or an individual who is actually an extremist and things of that sort. And that's obviously something they didn't put out there, So I think that it's extremely interesting that they went about that way, number one, and used that type of audience, which was smart because it's obviously the largest audience ever.
Well, because the Super Bowl, this Super Bowl was the biggest audience of all time, of all shows.
Since the moon landing. Absolutely.
The moon landing.
Yeah, 1969. That's the other biggest one. Everybody watched. I mean, you probably watched it.
Well, I'm just saying, I thought I don't recall that ever being in the top shows.
That was the top one until the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But my point being is like they used 123 million people audience to get a message out there that is completely blurred as to really what their ulterior motive is. And the fact of the matter is anybody out there who has concerns or issues with the extreme right should be scared, because this is a $1 billion campaign. It started out as $100 million. Now it's up to $1 billion. And these are all donations by very wealthy, influential business people in this country that is actually providing them the funds. There are some, and then they donate them also to all these additional hate groups and things of that sort. So I mean, you really kind of, and because of the way they actually have themselves listed as a nonprofit, you can't really dig down deep as to who's doing the donations. They're required to obviously say where they're donating to. So you got to kind of unpack that. I just found it very kind of scary to a bit, because again, I didn't know who it was, and the two girls that were sitting next to me, said, oh, this has got to be about He Gets Us, and I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And I started watching this. It's like, okay, this seems right, because they were saying, oh, we don't hate. And then I started digging into it on my Google. I'm like, oh, I see where this is coming from. This is really kind of let's kind of pull the wool over your eyes again.
So I guess political themes was a big thing for the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, there's no doubt it was
because
completely
RFK, was it RFK Jr.?
Yeah, that's the other one.
There was a commercial on that, and it's like when I was watching the Super Bowl, it was like it started out looking like something you would see in the '60s.
It looked like his actual Uncle JFK's commercials.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. And I didn't see, obviously I wasn't born then, but I looked at that and I was just like, first of all, he's always trying to say that he doesn't play off the Kennedy name.
Oh, he does.
And I'm like, that just proves he does. I mean, 100%. His cousins also had an issue because of their mother was obviously portrayed in there as well, which she was totally against his entire thought process of anti-vax and all this other stuff, and didn't believe in them. But he utilized them. He actually had to apologize to his family.
Well, and because he said, I had nothing to do with it, because it was my super PAC or whatever.
It was a PAC, but I mean, we all know that these politicians obviously do work with their PACs.
They do.
I don't care what anybody says. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, they paid $7 million for that. I mean, it's just. I mean, he's always complaining that he doesn't have money. He's always complaining that he doesn't have the Secret Service protection and things that. Well, maybe you should get security then. If that's much of a problem. I literally was watching this. I mean, even before the controversy happened, it's like, oh, he is so playing on the shirt tails of his ancestors.
Of course. Why would you not? If you had the name Kennedy, and it's like, you're going to.
Well, because what he believes in, his policies, his the way he thinks has nothing to do with JFK or even his father, Robert. Is nothing like them. Nothing like them whatsoever. And the other one that I was really confused about, because it wasn't one commercial, it was multiple throughout the game. It was Temu.
Temu?
Yeah. Which is that Chinese, like Amazon group.
Okay.
I mean, and I actually bought one thing for them last summer just to test them out, to see exactly the quality of the product and see how long it took. Obviously, the quality was not up to where it is on the Amazon side, but and of course it took a lot longer, and it was DHL and things of that sort. So it wasn't like overnight like Amazon. But again, I think first of all, the commercials were kind of bland, but also the fact that they spent multiple dollars. I mean, I think there was probably 7 times it came across, and multiplied that times 7. Now it's $1 billion company that can afford it. I get that, but I mean, I'd be kind of curious, is like when those Republicans going to start talking about that in the committees on Congress about, they're trying to infiltrate our airwaves now.
They won't.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. So.
But I mean, but you look at it. We're going full circle with the Super Bowl. It's like it's just not a football game. It is so much other stuff that's going on.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about it. I mean, the kind of the two different things two topics. Well, it's really one topic that I want to kind of wrap this up on is money.
Money talks.
Well,
Money
it does.
revolves everything.
And, there's been so much, obviously, controversy around the whole Travis and Taylor and, and all these conspiracy things and whatever. One group that has been extremely supportive of this is the NFL. And, one, because they obviously have seen a huge different shift in market demographics, number one. They've seen increase in merchandise sales. I mean, Travis's jersey alone is up 400%.
Well, of course.
In sales. But the fact of the matter that her involvement in just the 12 games that she went in at, which was KC's games, it wasn't anybody else in the NFL's.
Because wasn't she there last year?
She again, the Super Bowl was the 13th game, which is that whole kind of, she does number 13 anyways.
Okay.
It was her 13th NFL game. But just the impact and the 25 seconds that she has been projected on the screens, and that's all she's been projected on the screens. They've done a calculation of it, but just the talk and all that, she has generated another $400 million for the NFL alone. One person alone. Mm-hmm. And I think that, the other thing that I didn't realize this until I did some research on it is, how important, I mean, yes, it's the accolades and, the different, bonuses that the players get, the recognition and things of that sort. The real reason why they want to win the Super Bowl, it's not for the players. It's for the owners.
The owners?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
They're the ones who make out better than anybody else. Because Kansas City won this Super Bowl, the value of that franchise, the minute that touchdown was made and the game was called, increased by $1.8 billion. That's the value that increased.
It's like I'm having a hard time.
No, that's actually
digesting this. I'm not saying
that's on the low end.
I'm not saying it's.
That's on the low end.
Just not. I'm in a different state of mind.
Yeah, but think about it. You're talking about a dynasty. Literally, this is a dynasty. And the fact of the matter, I'm talking about 1.8 being on the low end. The low end.
I'm just
because
they
they were coming into this worth like $3.2 billion.
I'm not saying they're not worth more or whatever by winning or whatever.
But my point being is like most of the franchise's value increases by a minimum of $1 billion if they win the Super Bowl.
It's like okay, I have to say this or whatever. I get it. I understand that to a point. But I look at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but
they are the highest paid or highest value franchise in the world.
Yeah, but
they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95.
But there's always about perception. There's always about
I get that. So that's where you're
there's
saying
also
all this
history.
stuff is.
There's also history there, but also in addition to that, that's $1 billion stadium.
Well. But that also was built over 10 years ago or whatever, over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but it's still $1 billion.
But I know, but there's still more that have been built since then or whatever. But I'm just saying I get it on the majority or whatever, but it's like, all right, the Dallas Cowboys, the highest paid or highest value ever in any sport, and we still haven't won a Super Bowl since '95.
Well, as you said last time, that's on Jerry Jones.
Well, I know.
So I mean,
he's a moron.
You can't knock the increased value on other franchises just simply because you don't like Jerry Jones.
Well, I'm just saying it's like I can see where it can increase it for a while, but
he's probably one of the few people who is okay whether or not they get a Super Bowl or not because he's still worth billions.
He is.
So I mean, there it is. I mean, so we've actually enjoyed talking about the Super Bowl today, and
we did,
and Vegas, that's for sure. And we look forward to talking some more on some different topics.
And Alex talked a lot today.
He did.
I had a lot to say, man.
Well, and I'm surprised that he was sober enough to do that.
And I didn't compliment your socks or your shirt or nothing.
Yeah, well.
I just got black socks on.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Buddies, Booze, Banter, Unfiltered Conversations. I'm Rick.
Michael.
And I'm Alex.
Till next time.
All right.